what are you nerding out about now?
I guess we're RIP, RIP, Mike. Mike's no longer on the show. Sorry, buddy. Um,
Mike who?
oh, you know what? I don't have the notes open, so I'm nerding out. Can if I can just jump
Go
in?
for
All
it.
right.
Jump in. The
All
water
right.
is warm
Yeah.
Screen.
because we peed in it.
Right.
You know how I said a few weeks ago, maybe months ago, that Screen Unseen, if it really is successful, is going to change the world. I still stand by that. I have my two youngest wanting to go with us. We were playing the game of guess the movie, right? Because there's usually a formula. Now they are very much being open about it's a 2 week preview of a movie, so that's bringing up more traffic. But we got in there. My wife had gotten pretty good about narrowing it down to say, "Oh, I bet you it's going to be this one." And there's a movie coming out in about 2 weeks. That's Mark Wahlberg. I think it's King something. It's about a dog. Yeah, and it looks
Oh,
fine.
isn't it like Arthur the King or something like that?
Yeah, something
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Arthur
yeah.
the King or something like that. Yeah, and it looks cutesy, looks fine. It's not really. I mean, it'd be fine.
It looks like a
And
Marky Mark movie. I mean,
yeah, it is. Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
fine with this. I'm just not an animal person, so I'm like, yeah, whatever. PG-13 or PG, whatever. It fell into the categories, and Aaron's like, I bet you it's that. And then we opened the movie, and the second slide up is BBC Entertainment shows. Maybe it's not. And then it was the movie about the man who Nick something or other who got a bunch of kids out of Europe. I forget the country. It's not Poland. It's right after Poland. Czechoslovakia, not Czechoslovakia, but basically, maybe it was Poland. But he saved 600 and something children, like got them out of that area as Nazi Germany was coming in. It's Anthony Hopkins he plays the main character, and it was really good. And it was a little sad at points. It was a little interesting. Our kids got to learn from it and talk about it. There's a lot of kids in the theater, and she was way more excited that we got to see that.
One Life?
You know what's funny about it? They never put the title up.
Oh.
So that's probably it, because one of the statements says, save one life, save the world, or something like that. There's a quote.
Are you sure they didn't put the title up, or were you just stuffing your face full of popcorn?
And you said it's Anthony Hopkins, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, apparently One Life premiered last year at the Toronto Film Festival, which
that's one of the markers. It's a film festival.
They like to do the film festival ones. So
they like to do
sounds like that might be
documentary type docudramas based on real stories to a point. I mean, the only one I know that I didn't get to see it. I hate that I missed it. But the only one that I know that didn't do that was a docudrama was Clarence, the Book of Clarence. But I imagine that was probably a Sundance Film Festival winner or something like that. I know American Fiction won tons of awards in all the film festivals before it was shown, and now it's getting like tons of nominations for everything, which it deserves. So I'm going to stay on that. The next one's PG-13. We can't wait till we can try to guess what that movie is. But no, Origin was another movie we watched that they just jumped right into the movie, and maybe it's because it's BBC. I don't know, but yeah, it didn't come out and you like One Live. It just kind of went into the film, and you're watching it. And I don't know if it's because it's the film festival version and not the open market version, or if it's just a style that maybe Screen Unseen is doing, because the one we saw before it was another docudrama with the guy who plays Reacher on the Amazon series about his daughter's got a special disease. Her mom died from it, and that's where the story starts. Her mom dies from it, and somebody blah, 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 blah. It didn't put up the name of the movie there either. It just, after the previews, it just kind of, here's who made the film. So maybe, you know what, Kurt, I'm glad you mentioned that. Now I think about it. Maybe it's a film festival style film, and you just watch it. So that's what I'm nerding out about. What are you nerding out about?
I finished Warrior.
Yeah, you did. Now I'm going to this one over, but it's okay.
No, I liked it quite a bit, but they ended the third season kind of like on a cliffhanger type thing, and well, it needed to be finished. Like and
there's some wrap ups. So, but there's a lot of death and dismemberment at the end of that series.
But I think what would have been really, really cool is if they and I did read the backstory about the story being developed by Bruce Lee and whatnot, but it would have been really cool to launch that into an awesome series where he's doing the kung fu thing, going town to town to help people,
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
yeah,
I think that would have been a really cool thing. Get kicked out of the tongs and then just be like this wayward samurai type dude.
yeah.
A Ronin.
A Ronin, really, yeah.
Basically, yeah.
But I thought it was great. I thought it was great, and I thought pretty much all the characters were awesome.
Honestly, when they finished the first season, I was good. I'm like, man, they told a full arc. They ended it with a really cool ending. I
Yep.
would love for it to come back, but I'm good if that was the only season they did.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that way
Yeah.
about the third season. I felt like we needed some more. Like they could have stopped at 1 or 2, but at 3, it's like, come on, you got to do a little bit more, but more happy.
That might be an interesting question. Shows that went on for one too many seasons.
Ooh, there's so many.
Yeah. There's a lot of good stuff in season 3. I just feel like the ending for me was not quite as satisfactory as I would have liked it. But and in the season 3 they kind of didn't do the what we talked about, I guess last week or 2 weeks ago, about when they're speaking their native language and the other person doesn't understand doing that. They didn't really do that as much.
No, not as much. Yeah.
So, but yeah, so you loved it.
I did. I really did. I really enjoyed it quite a bit. And it actually made me feel things like when I think it was Atoy got basically they destroyed her shelter basically for all the women, and then they had to go back to town and she had to start working again.
Yeah, that's first episode of season 3, by the way.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, horrible,
but it was like, oh my God, what are you doing? Yeah, and they really pounded home so just to let you know, while things might be okay for these people, it still sucks.
Yeah.
it's
that's why
not
Kurt said, is it really that bad today?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I can only think about one of the things that made me think about was about the impact of, frankly, the Irish people in San Francisco around that time. And because I was not aware.
I'd heard stories like through the history books, little side stories, but I wasn't aware that well, of course it's fictionalized, but I hope that's based on some truth, that so many different cultures were more or less clashing and coming together at the same time in San Francisco.
Right.
Yeah. But I do love that universally, and I mean this, universally, the rich white man was the enemy across the board, no matter what culture it was. I was like, I mean, because you have to have a big bad in any story, I think. And while they changed the characters, the whole thing was the man's keeping us down, and we're going to fight for it. But what about you?
Yeah,
Joey?
I mean, we could talk that show all night. So
Woo Assassins.
Yeah,
watch Woo Assassins.
That's been on my recommended. I've never watched that one. Is it good, Woo Assassins?
Oh yeah, I love it. It's about monks. So I like all kind of different martial arts, and it's about monk martial arts. There, I forget the exact style, but it was really good.
Okay. What I am nerding out about, surprised no one, is an anime. The Unwanted Undead Adventurer. You okay there?
Yeah, no, it sounds like a video game I'd play.
Well, so I do laugh at a lot of anime titles because it's basically an ad for the show, because it's just a description of what it's about rather than like a real title. But anyway, the Unwanted Undead Adventurer is about a guy who within like the first 5 minutes dies. He's eaten and turns into a skeleton. But why should that stop him from, becoming the best adventurer there is? So now he is an undead adventurer. And it's like, I make it sound funnier than it really is with that description. It's pretty down to earth, and I love how genuinely kind the main character is and considerate. And so yeah, it's a good one. I've been liking it quite a bit. It is ongoing right now, so I don't know how it's going to end. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
And
All right,
that's
I'll
on
pull it in the trailer.
Crunchyroll.
Watch it later.
It is on Crunchyroll.
Now, Joe, you don't strike me as somebody who has a subscription to Crunchyroll.
Oh, little do you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, he
okay.
strikes me exactly as somebody that does.
No, I'm sorry. He doesn't want coupons for the cheese he buys at Kroger. I don't see him forking
I
over the
don't go to
money to
Kroger.
watch anime. He would just like, where's it free? Where can I share it? Is it on YouTube on clips? I'll watch it.
He's a Daily Motion guy.
Funimation. He's more Funimation.
Civilian says, no, that is me. So, but it's a good one. Actually, I think I told Civilian to give it a try. I'm not sure if he has yet. But yeah, him and I were talking anime in our Discord,